Hi everyone, and welcome back again to one of our academic online lessons. Today we're going to discuss about one of the challenging exams in academic, in English academic sections in all the world basically. GMAT, one of the important and one of the challenging exam for the high level exam. We're going to discuss today very high level intellectual exam. The only thing is different about GMAT. It's not like TOEFL or IELTS we're discussing today. It's about high level, logical thinking. Kind of like, let's put it this way, it's like riddle way. We're gonna talk about riddle way. So, we're back here again. Welcome back to you folks. And how you doing? I hope you're doing well. So an important part, stay safe. So my dear friends, welcome back again. And we're going to discuss today about GMAT, what is GMAT, and what we're going to cover about it, and what is the important part about GMAT, and what are the tactics and the strategies about the GMAT exam. Basically, GMAT is the stand for, Graduate Management Admission Test, or GMAT. It's a graduate, as from G, management as from M, admission as from A, test as from T. So this is referred to GMAT is for the high level exams. The GMAT, which is stand for, is most common test used by business schools to assist the candidates for the high business level or master's degree. After let's say bachelor degree, people are gonna go for master degree, and this is go for MBA and business school. The test itself consists of 3 sections: analytical writing, and verbal, and quantitative. So we have analytical writing. Hi Rana, how you doing? Well, fast activist here with us. Welcome to Rana. Hey, good. So we got like analytical writing and verbal, which is we're gonna cover that, what it means, and quantitative. So is most important part that we're gonna cover most of the analytical here and verbal, but the quantitative is a bit like it's math. So I hope for the next lessons we're gonna cover all the details. Hi Shada, how you doing? So overall, all the GMAT is almost like 3.5 hours, total of 800 points. So of course, if you get like the 600, you're one of the top. So one of the things that it's involved in GMAT is the difficulty of the quantitative. It's basically we're going about riddle-ish, and I mean like riddle way. The question comes to you as a riddle, and you have to think as a riddle way. If you know that I use riddle in my lessons before, basically it's based on GMAT, or a Graduate Management Admission Test here. So let's see what we can do about it here. First, let's cover what are the 4 sections of the GMAT here. First, we're gonna go about analyze an issue. It's an essay you're gonna write. It's around 30 minutes. Okay, it's gonna be online writing. And the second one, usually you have to task to compose, the issue, the problems and solution, which can be, drafting solution, finalize the solution in the same essay. And this is one of the tricks I'm going to tell you about it, how to get the high score in one essay. Hi Ganesh, how are you? I hope you're doing well, my dear friend. And the second part here is the most important part, analyze an argument. Now imagine yourself, and this is so simple, it's also, by the way, take you 30 minutes. It's basically take you again 30 minutes. So here as an argument, imagine you get 2 persons. So when you start writing here, or you start writing an essay, you get 2 persons here, 2 ideas, one against each other. Try to have the base concept, and I'll tell you a secret here. One of the secrets in writing an essay is basically if you are using one of the, TOEFL technique is actually work with the GMAT. We are talking about introduction, 1 and 2, and count body and active body, and after that go for conclusion and final conclusion. But in a long story short, this is what you're gonna do an argument, like prove against the argument why is that, and to criticize the issue until you sort it out in the essay. And this is one of the tricks that you get almost the absolute perfect point in the essay, especially as an argument. The argument is the most easiest part to get the score in your pocket. Remember that. Get my advice. Okay? So Rana said, by the way, I'm fine. How are you, teacher? I'm fine. Everything good? Today is my happy day. I'm just like, you know, talk to my family. Everyone is fine. So everything cool in the States. Everything cool. So my dear friends, let's go for another details. Now we got the 4 section. Now section 1 analyze the issue, section 2 analyze the argument, and section 3 we're gonna go for quantitative ability, which is a bit a math here, a bit drifting math. So we're talking about quantitative ability is 37 questions and 75 minutes. Now basically we will not cover about the quantitative map. Is because it's a bit long-term, part of training. It's about math. We're talk about operations, integers, factors, multiples, and ordering, and decimal numbers, and percentage, and ratio, and a proportion, expansion. All the details that we need to cover up is actually in the quantitative. But it's, I hope, in the next lesson we will have a special quantitative for SATs and GMAT, which is only for math, and we're going to sort out math questions, but of course in English language. So this is one of the important parts. We're going to cover all this, the quantitative ability, maybe in the future lessons. One of the important part, let's take a drift about it, how things will work out here. All of you asking what kind of questions we're going to face in GMAT, and this is fact. Yeah? Rana also must sometimes ask me, Shayda ask me, what are the questions, what are the style that possible we're going to face in GMAT? Now, basically, I'm going to transfer you now to one of the question style, and let's see how you guys going to work out with that style. I will explain how you think, what is the idea behind it, and after that I will show you the problem solving idea and basically introduce you to the GMAT level in practical way. So let's go basically to one of the questions, and I transfer it now behind me to one of the questions. Now if you look behind me here, there is a question is in GMAT sample. Now select one of the answers. Okay, select one of the answers. Good. I will explain the GMAT for sure. Okay, now let's put it this one of the question. By the way, the screen the screen very clear in front of you folks. If yes, so it's okay. If not, I will zoom in the screen. It's okay for you folks? And my voice is clear? If my voice is clear, so tell me please. Is everything yes? Just tell me yes. So the screen is clear, yes? You can see the words here or not? Okay, that's good, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Now look here to this word here, what is mentioned, okay? This word. The interview of an essential part is successful hiring program because with the job application who have personalities that are unusual to the requirement. But okay, I will zoom in. I will zoom in, my dear friend. Thank you so much. I was looking for that. I will zoom in. Now it's clear? I will zoom in. Now it's clear, I hope. That's good. Now you see here that are unsuitable to the requirement of the job will eliminate from the consideration. Now look at this, a description of the interview here. Now look at the question. This argument logically depends on which of the following assumptions. This is assumption. What does mean assumptions, by the way? What does mean here by the word assumptions? What do you think? What is meant by this word? Let's see how you guys working out here. because very important part is how to cover your vocab. Here's mean the following assumptions mean possibilities, proposing possibilities. Which one is correct? Now the proposing possibilities is most important part here. So according to this part, which one is the correct answer here? What do you think? Exactly, suppose. Suppose, Shayda, thought. Not thought exactly, not coming like thought, but suppose here. So what do you think? The possible options that here you make your choice. Could you answer? Shayda, Rana, anyone? If you could answer, it's good. Okay, a team said fourth, right? A team said fourth. Let's put it this way, A and B and C and D and E. Put like this way, it's better for you. So he said fourth, yes? Said fourth. Okay, is it accurate? Now let me explain to you in more dramatic way how you will answer this question. How will you answer this question? Thank you. By the way, what's your name, team? What's your name? Because it's very long name. A team, yes? That's good. So let me explain to you how the thing work here, how we play the role and play the ball to answer such questions. Basically, look to the sentence here. The interview is an essential part of a successful hiring program. Yes? Because with it, job applicants who have personality that are unsettled, to the requirements. Now look here. All the time there is something we call push and down. In the question itself, and GMAT is very famous with this trick, is you see the first layer of the question is actually going for high and suddenly go down, like pushing down, unsettled, unsuitable, and like this one. Well, nice meeting you. Anyhow, nice meeting you, many names. So I want you to look to this trick. First, look to the up level of the sentence. So we're here. Look, if you go here, you see the interview is an essential part for a successful hiring program. Here until now is going up. Now here the applicants is going down because basically maybe not accepted, maybe something. So there is positive and negative here. Now in the answer, that's a trick. You have to look to the opposite. To the opposite. What the interviewers required, okay, from the applicants. The opposite. Think the opposite, and you'll find the answer in front of you. Now, if you think the opposite of the question here or of the statement, this is what we call. This is not a sentence here. This is called a short statement. Now, this is a short statement. It has up and down. If you first up, second down. Now, in the answer should be first down and going up. Is the opposite, okay? So by this trick, which one possible is the answer? Because this is how the think and logical tricks work. You have to think in a different way. That's why we called, graduate management admission test. That is for the high level exams. So what do you think? Rana, Shayda, anyone, a team, anything, anyone. Let's say some of you said D, right? Some of you said D. But do you think, is it D right? If you go by this way, like up and down? Okay, you said it's D? Okay, some of you said A. Let me ask you something here, very clearly. Let's put it here, interactive training here. Think about it this way. If you get like the interview is an essential part of a successful hiring program because now everything is going up, right? Now let's smash it down. So when you got it like here, have personalities that are unsuited to the requirement of the job. Now let me ask you something. Where is you can find the opposite? The opposite of it. Some of you said D, and I tell you D is wrong. It's not correct. D is not correct. Some of you said A, and A, of course, is absolutely incorrect. You have to look. There are two concepts. The answer should have, two concepts. First, the essential part and the applicant part. So we get the interview and the applicants mentioned in the answer. So, possible answers. This is a kind of interactive training. We're gonna, give you introduction. What is GMAT? How you think about GMAT? How you answer such questions? Well, here many names said it's E. Okay. Let me ask you something. Many names. Is it mentioned here like personalities or requirements? Is it mentioned exactly where is the applicants here? Mention applicants, right? Rana said C. Okay? Rana said C. And C actually is the correct one. Wonderful, Rana. C is the correct one. Now, you asked me for Hyde, how the earth you answer this question. Now, let me answer and tell you something. Look here. The interview is an essential part, is the core part. First, you have to look for the core of the subject. So the core part is the essential part of a successful hiring program because with the job applicant. Now here, is there applicant mentioned here? Yes, it's mentioned. Is it like interviews mentioned? Yes, it's mentioned. Okay. Is there personality mentioned? Yeah, it's mentioned. Okay. Is there unsuited mentioned? Yes, it's mentioned. But possible we can see there is here, possible here, or here is mentioned. Both of them in men. But if you look at it in a different way, this one upside down, while this one downside up. Now this one describes an event. This one describes the interviewer's part. So basically they are completely each other. While the other part, the A or B or D or E, are not completing the first passage. That's the trick. Now this is how you find the answers. Of course, by the way, the exam screen will be exactly like the screen behind me with some, different style. And again, you will have to click submit answers, like that. And you will go for the second question. Okay? Now, you understand the idea of how you pick up your, the right selection, right? The right choice. You understand the idea? Basically, upside down, downside up, same concept, same idea. Simple, like a song. Upside down, downside up, same concept, same idea. It's simple. Like a song, use it to answer this technique. Do you understand it? If you understand it, say yes. And I'm sure some of you will understand the idea. If you understand, say yes. So, everyone here, everyone okay? You understand the idea? Well, I hope that everyone understands the idea. Now let's go for the second part. Now this is a mini quiz. Okay. I will repeat again the same concept. No, you're not turtle. Come on. Okay, folks. Let me explain this with the second example here. This is what we called, upside down, downside up technique in GMAT exams. Now you see exactly the same equation here. You will see the same equation here. Okay. Now a mini statement, and after that they ask questions about it, and you have to pick up something here. And the idea of this one is not to fill a blank or correct sentence, which we have such in the next samples. But it's what we're talking is the idea, the logical idea, okay? So here, GMAT, that's what they call it, Graduate Management Admission Test, is actually how you're gonna think if you're gonna go for a higher project like MBA or master's degree. This is after bachelor degree. So after university, people go for this exam. Basically, it's the way how you think, the way how you get the idea. But also there are some tiny key, secrets, some tiny keyhole. You can actually crack the code of GMAT. It's so simple. First, you see the tone of the passage, the tone of the statements going high, like very priority, something very important part. And suddenly give the slap and crush it down with something odd, negative. Now immediately you have to understand this is the idea. Oh, there is something up here and something down. So here is the trick. It's mean you find your key. Now look to the answers, and see what is possible to complete the statement or to compare with the statement exactly, but the opposite. There is a priority, but from different view. So we are talking from two cameras here. One is the exam cameras and one from different camera, but both of them cover the same concept. Okay, this is how it's work. Now let's take an example here with the second question. I will zoom in again so you can guys see it. Okay, I think now it's clear. Now, my dear friends, now let's put it here. Okay, this question presents a sentence part which is underlined, and we think there is underlined sentence here. Okay, you will find 5 ways of phrasing the underlined part. The first of these repeats, the original. The other 4 are different. So there are different ideas, different logical thinking of rephrasing the statement here. Okay, so choose one of the others. Now this is, if you look at it, it's a kind of like riddle. It's like a puzzle here. How you gonna think? What is the statement here? Look here. If you read this part exactly until here, okay? Read it until here, which is above my head, the blue one, okay? Which one here is exactly, put it here, but in a different camera, different view. Now, I want you to compare here and here, okay? So let's put it here, A, B, C, D, E. So you gotta pick up your mind. Which one is the correct? Give me an answer. I want you to think. One is up, one is down. Now, the opposite should be down and up. What do you think? Now here's the thing. What do you think? How you gonna pick up the idea? Here's the effect of drug and alcohol abuse, which is already are a cost to business. Now put it here, okay? Let's put it one by one. This word is mentioned. Yes, mention. Look here. Mention. How we will compare, okay? Now, this one mentioned? Yes, it's mentioned, okay? Rana said C. Rana said C. Okay, what about you, many names? What about you, many names? What about Shada? What do you think? Now, Rana said C, but maybe wrong, maybe yes. Who knows? We don't know yet. But look to the sentence here. Is it like singularity compound effects of drug and alcohol abuse already with business cost of? Cost of what? No, logically is not. So C is wrong because it's not right. C is not right here. Because basically it's not complete this sentence because something is not, you know, you are taken as a copy exactly. You're taken up as a copy. I told you, took from different camera, different view. Consider you are watching a movie from 2 different angles. Now one is one angle. Don't need to copy the same sentence here. So this is, C is not right. Look from different angle. Now different angle, what is it? Different angle of the answer. I will help you guys here. I'll help you with the second one, okay? If you go here to this option, which one? Any answers? No one is answering. Now if you go here, compounds the effects of drug and alcohol abuse which already cause business. Now if you look at this one, B is actually the right answer. B is the right answer. Hi PTR, how are you? I hope you're doing well, my dear friend. So this one is actually the same meaning of this one, same meaning of this mini statement here, but it's enough, you know, cover everything from different angle because mentioning which already cost business. Here we don't need everything, we need to complete everything we need to complete, but here is a complete section. Here is a complete section. It's going from down to up, down to up. So this is a basic rule, one of the basic tiny keyhole to, you know, crack the code of GMAT training here in the exam. Okay, so is it easy or hard? Tell me. You understand the idea or still not yet? You have to answer, let me repeat it in different way. You have to make a choice here in the verbal exam. The choice here should be, you know, cover each aspect of the idea without continue. No need to continue, you know, like the others. If here we are choosing the first C is the same, we need to add information. Okay? And here singular compare effects in drug alcohol abuse and already costing business. Costing business what exactly? So need to add to it, not fit. Same as D, same as A. So the only one is B, which is actually in a short, long story short, cover the whole aspect of idea in small sentence. That is the you know, the main trick here, without any addition information. So you don't need to add to information like here. In A, business of what? Or C, cost of what? Again, the same as D, the same as E, we need to add additional information to clear out the statement, while B actually is already clear. Very long story short. So if you understand it, say yes. If you understand it, say yes. And as I said, GMAT is not like, you know, a lesson that like TOEFL or IELTS or even GRE or SAT. There is a different technique. It's like a riddle, you know, like a puzzle. You have to have the, you know, different logical thinking to answer complicated questions, like this one, for example. So, is it understandable? Do you understand the idea? Or still, should I repeat again? If you wanted me to repeat, I will repeat again. Yes, Rana, exactly. You are looking for a different view that complete the whole same statement from different angle. Different angle, like, let's put it this way, Rana. Like two friends are talking about the same story, but everyone tell the story in different way, which is cover the same idea. That's it. Simple. Do you understand me now? It's like you and your friend are talking about the same subject, but she covered this from different angle and you different from different angle. That's it. That's how it's work. So, good. So, I mean, now it's clear for Rana and everyone else the idea of, understanding verbal questions and how to answer verbal questions. Let's go a bit higher than that. Let's go a bit higher technique here, okay? Now, I will submit my answer, okay? And let's go for the third one. Let's go here in more details. Now, you see here go more historical fact. Now, this is a kind of like technique in a verbal, I called verbal analysis questions. Analysis questions is where we cover historical fact. Yes, Inada. It's look like, resume style, but more logical. We are studying from zero, by the way. So I'm trying to, pick up the things step by step with you folks. Slowly we're going to go more harder and harder here. Okay? So let's put at the second step. Now the first two was only analytical question, just to look for different view, different angles. Now here we are talking about historical fact, analytical fact here. The analytical fact is a bit different thinking, different idea, okay? Different way how to answer the question. We got another keyhole to open another door for GMAT. Now, one of the tricks here, and I'm telling you one of the tricks, and we use it all the time to write GMAT questions, okay? As an examiner, I'm telling you as an examiner technique. When you see a date here, when you see a date like this one, 1964, 1978, immediately, oh, that's mean we are dealing with historical fact, okay? That's mean with historical fact here, okay? So first, when you are looking to the answers here, gather all the numbers in your eyesight. So we have 1978, 1964, and 1978 again. So look to the repeated numbers. The repeated numbers is 1978. Yes? 1978. Now immediately look to the capability of the statement of the two numbers here. If you here, look to the question itself. After reading about the passage, choose the best answer to each question. One answer for all. The question on the base of the stated or implied in the passage. Now, the question here, some of you will not understand what is mean stated or implied in the passage. It's mean either it's there in the passage or remarkable, put it in a remarkable way. Put it in a remarkable or implied way. So here, which of the following conclusions is the best supported by information above? Now, basically, all of the questions, if you look there, conclusions almost identical, right? Almost identical. Now, here is a trick. To find the answers, I want you to look to two identical dates, which is mentioned in the passage. Okay? Look to the two identical date here, and compare two dates here, the information, and find the answer here. Now that the field is yours, give me the answers. Well, everyone said this D, yes, because of the date, right? So PTR and Rena, as they said, is D. Yeah? They said is D. Now this is a possible option. Any other options? Any other options? Not only because of date, Rana, not only because of date. Let me explain this. If you look, compare here, 1978 and 1970 is mentioned twice, mentioned in the passage twice. So it means there is very important information in this date, mentioned in this range of date. So if you look here, what are the information that mentioned in this date that should be already reflect as a conclusion here? Now, of course, Rana and PTR actually answer is D, is correct. Thank you. Wonderful. You answer actually the correct answer. PTR is like a sniper. Shoot and hit. That's good. Okay, wonderful PTR. Now, important part, look here. Both of them get at the most important part. What is mentioned here? 3% of the gross. Yeah? Now, and here after this date, again mention percentage. So percentage. Look at the words is repeated with the date repeated. If you look here exactly, okay, do you see any percentage and date mentioned in that? You will see only mention, where is that? In D, the date and percentage. Exactly, PTR. I told you, you're a good sniper. You're a good hunter. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for your attendance. Thank you. So, my dear friends, now you see there is a percentage here in 1978. So this is the high possible answer, and actually the only answer to put it as a conclusion. Because since we are mentioned, if you know how to do the writing part, all the time in the paragraph, or there is two parts in the paragraph, count body and active body. The count body talking about problems, and the active body talk about solution. And both of them, there are some information will be repeated where in conclusion. So since we get a percentage here, we have percentage and date. We have percentage and date. Immediately, that's mean we go for conclusion part, and it's easy to answer, right? So when you see the date, this is one of the crack code. When you see the date, important part, look to the dates and information what is after the date, not before the date. Look to the information what is after the date, okay, and find the answers exactly in the multi-choice question, okay? So, do you understand this trick? Do you understand this idea, how it's work? The trick, how to crack one of the code of GMAT. Do you understand it? If you understand it, say yes. What about you, Ina? Do you understand it? Ви понимаете? If you understand it, say yes. So we're going to go for the next level questions and what is the way to answer such questions. So I received some messages on the private in WhatsApp. Actually, they send it to me now. Some of them say, yes, we understand the question and we understand the method how to answer. Remember, the first technique of verbal questions is to answer analytical question. And the analytical question is simple, is you have to go the same information, different angle, like a resume thing. Thank you, Ina. Okay, and after that, go from two different stories. All the times go with the first story going up and down, and the answer should be the opposite, down and up. While one of the second key we are talking here about the date. When you find the date, find what is the keywords or the information after the date, not before the date. Remember, because all the answers will relate the information after the date, not before the date. And this is one of the tricks in GMAT. You need to remember that. Don't forget that. Okay? So let's go for the next sample. I hope you enjoyed the lesson here. That's wonderful. Now this one is a riddle question. We're gonna go for the riddle style questions. Now first we cover one of the sample of the logical questions, the previous first and second. The third one was about date analysis question, and which very simple. You have to look the information after the date. Now let's go here, okay? And you can see the sentence part, which is underline. Okay, you will find 5 ways of phrasing the underline part. Okay, the first of these, repeat the original. Okay, choose the first answer, otherwise choose one of the others. By the way, don't fall the trap here. If you think the original is the best, choose the first answer. Otherwise, choose one of the others. Okay? Don't fall trap, because all the time it means there is something wrong here. Okay? So let's put it this way. There is an underline, but I want you to look the information after it also, so you can understand the whole story. So how we can rephrase that? Find the accurate rephrase statement for the underlined sentence. The ball is yours. What is the answer? Rana, anyone? What is the answer? Is it possible the same? Are we talking about the same or what? If you know the answer, please write it down. If you want, I can zoom in here. I can zoom in so you can see. Can't we be? Okay, is it like a question or answer, PTR? PTR, is it question or answer? I need the accurate, rephrase of the underlined sentence here. Because here you're like question or answer, which one? What about you, Rana, Shayda? Where is Ali today? Ali is not here. Shayda said D. Shayda said D. Yes? Okay. Well, for sure, my dear friend, is not B. Because if you look at it, it's almost like, not B. Not B. And not D. Not D. So we have either A or C or E. Well, the right answer is C. The right answer is C. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now everyone is asking, what? All of them is like almost identical. What is that trick here? Yeah, almost identical. But here, if you look here, okay, we just rephrase the statement without any completion of the sentence. So basically, put it the whole sentence without, we don't need to complete. The trick here, every one of the above is need to complete information. You need to add information to complete the sentence here, right? Right. Except C. C, you don't have to add further information. It's enough, this one, to rephrase the sentence. Simple as that. So this kind of a trick, remember, the key log number 3 in answering GMAT questions. Here is, you have to find yourself, if tell you too simple, the question has come to you, 5 to, phrasing the underlined part. Now, when you see phrasing underlined part, important part here, you have to look to the answers, which one no need additional information here. And that's the only one is the absolute correct. Okay, so if we choose D, we need to add additional information. If we choose E, the same as B and D and A. The same story here. We need to add information, basically. Okay? Except this one, except C is actually put it in a way we don't need to add information. It's more than enough. Okay? So you need to compare the answers in a way without an additional information. Do you understand this trick or no? If you understand it, say yes. If no, I will repeat it in a different way. If you understand it, say yes. If you don't, I will repeat it in another way. So you understand it, all of you? Well, I hope so. Because we're going to go more riddle-ish questions. Rana, Shaida, PTR, all of you understand the questions. All of you clear the questions. Do you understand it? Do you understand the idea how it's worked? Well, Rana, she said, I think yes. Okay. Since there is I think, okay, you have to think in a way that you complete the, you made the right choice, that no need for further information. That's it. Like Orange, James, Merrill language. That's it. Okay? So you don't need any further information here. Okay? Ina also, she said the same. I hope so. Well, yes. And may I ask all of you why you are now, for example, attending GMAT lesson? Do you have any GMAT exams coming for you? Any GMAT exams coming for you? Just a random question. Why you are attending GMAT lesson? Very interesting for me. Or just for knowledge? Because the point here, GMAT is not like, possible like, language. It's actually exam. It's to pass an exam level. You already know the language. You already know the concept. So basically, you should know the vocabs, the phrases already in your wallet. It's not like you need like vocabs to study vocabs like SAT or IELTS or TOEFL. No. It's already different. This one is you already picked up. I mean, GMAT is also people in the United States, in New York, in Canada, in Australia. All of the people are attending GMAT exam. All of the people is attending GMAT exam, either is native or non-native, because it actually measures the graduate's admission test for master's degree and high level. That's actually what is GMAT. So it's not mean you are like from this country. No, it's all the same. Even Americans or Australians or Canadians or British, all of them, they will attend GMAT for, but in different way, of course. In the States, it's a bit different. The GMAT is different than the other, countries because it's a native language. So more quantitative, it's a math technique more than the language, more than verbals. While the overseas, like Asia and Turkey, is a bit different because it's more verbal than math. But that's why they ask your ID and information. Okay, now let's go for the fifth technique. Now this is actually a riddle now. Welcome to one of the simple quantitative technique in GMAT or question style. Now this is, I need you to activate your math part because this is included in GMAT. Now this is all, you need to understand it. I will zoom in, folks, because this is a riddle in English, of course. Here, on the third day fishing trip, 4 adults consume food costing $60. For the same food cost per person per day, what would be the cost of food consumed by 7 adults during a 5-day fishing trip? Now this one you need, a pencil and a paper to start calculating. Now this is one of the questions possible, it will come to you in GMAT exam. You don't need to answer in English, you need just to answer a number. What is the result? Basically, in GMAT, they will not care about the number. They care, in a way, have you understood the question or not? That's the main part here. So, let's play the ball and see how the poker game will, go through. What is the answer of the fifth question? Okay. On the 3rd day fishing trip, 4 adults consume food costing $60. For the same food cost per person per day, what would be the cost of food consumed by 7 adults during a 5th day fishing trip? What is your answer? So if you can tell me, it will be amazing. So some of you start already answered. That's fantastic. So the answer said is B. Yes? Some of you said the answer is B, right? And the answer is correct. The answer is B. Wonderful, folks. Wonderful. See, now you start working out. That's good. That's good. If you understand the question. Wonderful. Wonderful. See, this is called the logical intellectual thinking in GMAT exam. You will see questions, sudden questions, and I mean it in some verbal questions, not quantitative. Coming like that, just question with a number. You have to calculate how you get it, how you understand. The important part is not about the numbers, is how you understood the question. Okay? So to understand this technique, basically, it's simple. Use like a math. It's just a math technique. Simple. You get 4 adults, 35 multiplied by 5, and it's continue. That's wonderful. So you understood almost all the technique, basically, like 3 or 4 techniques. Let's go for the 6th question here. Okay? Again, we will have a kind of like a mini quiz in English. Okay? And this is kind of like quantitative. Okay? So let's put it here. Rana and PTR, my snipers here in the game, they are working out on math. So the number of rooms at Hotel G is 10 less than twice the number of rooms at Hotel H. If the total numbers of rooms at Hotel G and Hotel H is 425, what is the number of rooms at Hotel G? Now the answer is yours. Okay? Try to think. Use pencil and paper. Now this one is a bit hard, I think, for you. This one is a bit hard. Yes? So you have either A or B or C or D or E. PTR, Rana, Shayda, what do you think? One of you, what do you think? What is the answer? And by the way, of course, you can see is the calculations going to be harder. My advice to you, sometimes the calculator is most important part if you feel yourself you can't manage with numbers. Okay? So, PTR, any answer? Shayda, any answer? What do you think? Come on, it's hard, guys, for you? Really? It's simple math. Who gonna be the winner, folks? Who gonna be the winner? Okay, I'm gonna count to 5. PTR said E. PTR said E. And is the correct answer. Wonderful. Is the correct answer. That's absolutely right. Okay, so you mean you understand how to make calculations here. That's wonderful. By the way, some of you will think I don't understand how I will answer such math questions. You have to look to the question itself here, okay, and just change all the details to numbers or X or Y. So basically, let me explain to you if you face such technique in a simple form here. In the real exam, you have to transfer G to a number and H to a number and multiply with according to that details. For example, G is less 10 than twice the number of rooms and hotel H. So we're talking about hotel H is 425. Okay, so twice the number. Twice the number. This means double by 2, and so on. It's simple, okay? You have to think in this way. Now, this one is one of the techniques in GMAT exam, folks. This is one of the techniques in GMAT exam. As I said, this is not only for English. There is verbal and quantitative techniques here. So basically, you need to understand even math. But of course, we will not cover math part here. We're just gonna go for verbal. Just like this is a demo lesson, introduction, what is the GMAT consist of and what kind of questions possible you will face. Let's go for the second question here. Now this one is a bit about statement. It's math. Basically, I will help you here because you don't have to answer this question. It's a math technique and is not related to your field. You come to study only English, okay? So actually the only answer is one is correct, is A. Because statement 1 and statement 2 is not sufficient. The meanwhile of such questions, I will just give you a short, before we're gonna go to break. You will see two statements here, like an average equation, formula. And after that, it'll give you another formula. And they ask you, are there already qualify and average formulas to each other or not? Are they equal to the same results or not? Of course, you don't have to think like that because it's a part of math, quantitative questions, okay? So you don't have to worry about it so much. Unless if you are going to attend the GMAT exam, you need to study math in this case. So my dear friends, we will continue the lesson today with more verbal and reasoning questions after the break. We're going to take a break 5 minutes and I will get back to you. Stay in touch. Hi everyone, and welcome back again after a short break. Welcome to GMAT Graduate Management Admission Test. Today we're gonna, after we took the introduction, what kind of questions possible we will face in the exam, and what kind of possibilities that, what kind of, how we gonna crack the code, how we gonna work out with the code, and find the answers in an easy way. Let's go for more as a strategy questions. Now in GMAT, strategy questions, it's a scenario basically on solving a real life problem, like undesirable economic or sociological or decline such in business revenue. It's kind of like basically we're talking about one of the rules of the MBA, business management. So in strategy questions, you see the higher score or the high amount of calculation score points is coming from the strategy questions. Why is that? Because actually it's inflect your way of thinking, how you answer the questions, how you find yourself, in a way to avoid mistaking in any ideas. Now basically here we're gonna go, for example, let's put it here. Let's take an example. You are dealing with strategy question with a question theme similar. For example, which of the following strategies would be the most likely to reverse the decline in what? To prevent continued lose of. So if you look to the way how we as the question here, decline in, sorry, I will just mark it, I will mark the word here so you can recognize it, and lose of, and maker to. You see the way how you use the word, okay? If you look at here, among the following proposal, which one is a question, if implemented, is likely to be most effective, discouraging here. So if you look here to the words, we are using decline in, lose of, maker to, which one. Basically, this is a kind of technique in strategy questions, is how to find the answer or the clue by the meaning of such phrases. Okay, so when you say decline in, okay, it means you are going actually in a different path, not going down. Or lose of, actually not mean lose as lose everything, lose of something and you lose the chance of it. Why still you got another chance to do it. You're totally not like absolutely loser. That's a different story here. So basically strategy question is how to find the answer by finding such keywords of the question itself. Okay, let's take an example. Let's take an example about it and let's see how you guess the answer. Okay, now let's go sample of test 1. Okay, let's go for sample for test 1. I'm gonna zoom in, folks. 1 second. Yes, you can see it now. You're zooming here. Now this is one of the strategy questions. Now there are strategy questions here, and you can see behind me we're talking about the first one. Okay, let's go for the first one, and I'll put it in green. Okay. Now look here, health professionals widely concur that beyond a certain amount of exercise each day, the benefits of that individual can expect it to derive by further, look here, by further exercise is negligible. So what do you mean here? Exactly which one, the right one here. So it's come to you by no questions basically. There is no question. It's just like you need a strategy question. By further exercise, from further exercise, in further exercise, by exercising even more would be, which one is the correct we are using here? And actually it's end of the line if you see it. Okay, if you see it end of the line. Let me just change that so you can see it. It's end of the line. Which one is almost correct here? This is a part of training. You can find yourself now easy to answer any questions. So which one is answer A or B or C or D in number 1? If you think, should I zoom in? I will zoom in, by the way. If you feel yourself you can't see, I will zoom in. Please write it down. If you need to zoom in, I will zoom in here. You don't need zoom in, so what is the answer if you don't need zoom in? If you don't need zoom in, what is the answer here, my dear friends? Now look here, by father, it's mean we're still using the by father. The Rana said is A. Rana said is A. Okay, other choices, folks? Other choices? Because the original sentence A. We're talking about the originals, not the original here. Look, anything that's similar I don't want. I need something different now. A is the same. A is the same. By father exercise. No, it's not the A actually. But I want something similar. Similar, but for this one. So what do you think? PTR, Shayda, come on, give me an answer here. What do you think? What do you think, folks? What is the possible replaceable phrase that make this statement more accurate? Ina said is D. By exercising father would be? Okay, Rana said D also. Okay. Let's go more dramatic. Okay, let me tell you something about such questions. This is called the strategy question. Strategy here is mentioned like lose off before, the same technique. By father. By father, it's mean, okay, possible to change it. So we don't use father anymore, you know? We don't use father, but more dramatic than father. So look to the answer is E actually. If you look to the answer E, it's give the same meaning. It's give the same meaning here. Okay? But more, by exercising even more would be, that's what I mean. Okay? So the answer is actually D. The reason why, if you look, all of them, father, fathering, father, father, so all the same. Only this one is a bit different. Not a bit. By exercising even more would be. Now this is given accurate information, like give you more advisable information. Okay? So everyone think is D. Thank you so much for support, but the answer is actually E. Because you are actually keeping, if you are keeping father, the same word like lose off, is basically you are repeating the same sentence in different way. But I need more dramatic, more dramatic. This is what we call it strategy questions or strategy techniques. We need more strategical way of phrasing. Let's go again for the second one. After bounty hunters turn water over their captives to the authorities, they often are denied due process of law. Okay, which one, and I will repeat again, which one is more possible option? Okay, A or B or C or D or E. Here, I will change the color. Hold a second, I'll put it in red so you can see it correctly. Remember, I will go for all of it. Okay? Now, which one, if we're gonna go more dramatic, more strategical phrases, rephrase, and we're stuck in one statement, remember, I don't want to go more information. I need to be, you know, in the limit zone. Long story short, that's it. So what is the answer? A or B or C or D? What do you think? PTR, Ina, Rana, Shayda, anyone? I got like some people here. So who can share with me the answer? Remember, the answer should be overdrafting here for the other answers. It's by means, it's you should find the answer which it has all the clues, but more dramatic words. Simple. So Rana, what do you think? Ina, Shayda. Rana said D. Rana said D. Wow. Actually, the answer is D. And wonderful, Rana. Wonderful. Now, that means she understood the way how to answer such questions. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Now, this is the way how it's work. Now, you understand the idea? You understand the strategy questions, how to find the answers? The previous, session, like before the break, it was just introduction. We just cover up the whole, the tiny aspects of GMAT. Of course, we get just 2 hours for GMAT. GMAT's like minimum need 80 hours to go the whole corners aspect of GMAT questions. But here we're just taking fill the gap of 2 hours with the most sophisticated information of GMAT here. Okay, so now this one is understandable. Let's go for another technique, which is in the third one. Now I'm gonna choose different number. I'm gonna choose different number here, and I'll choose Pinky. Pinky is nice. And here, getting all done. Now, which one possible to rephrase? Remember, is like number one here. Okay, possible to rephrase, but put it in a long story short. So we got A, B, C, D, E. They be actors, musicians, or some other high profile, vacations. I don't know. So which one is possible option here? What do you think? Is it fine? Is it fine? Or we should change it here? Now remember, there is the word weather here, and I said the word weather, and I'll put it in yellow. I'll mark it in yellow, guys. I'll mark it in yellow. Sorry. I'll mark it in yellow. Now there is a weather here. It's been changed the whole aspect. Whether they be actors, musicians, or some other high profile, what does that mean? Let me tell you one trick. First, I want to see the answers. Rana said B, and others. Now, unfortunately, it's not B or C or D or E whatsoever. The answer is the same is A. The answer the same is A. Now you ask me, why is that, teacher? The answer is simple, guys. Because I told you there is weather. Whether they be actors or musicians or some high profile. Now there is already an optional. Since there is an optional, okay, remember, when you see an optional, whether either, for example, if it's acceptable, or for example, if or, when you see that one, immediately consider that the statement is correct. I'll give you the key to that immediately. Don't think too much. To answer this question should be an advanced level. Yes, PTR, actually that's the reason. GMAT is not for, level, A1 or A2 English. It's basically mostly like native English. So basically, I'm telling you, even in the States we are taking the exam. Even in the States, we're taking such exam, GMAT. So imagine the state, we are taking the exam. So what about you folks? The same story here is you need to be at high level, not in advanced, but you need to be in a good level of vocabs, understanding English. That's why for GMAT exams, students are preparing GMAT exams not a month, not two, maybe 6 months earlier to 8 months earlier. Some of them, they prepare before even a year for that exam, because some universities, they are asking, you know, 600 to 700 score point. For example, let's put it in Long Island University, which is my university. If we are talking about GMAT, they are asking 720 point. So people, they need to study before that, even 8 months, to prepare themselves for the exam. So that's, yes, it's need for not advanced, but in a good stand for English language, not as, you know, a 1, a 2, or, you know, weak level. It's not going to work out here. I'll be honest with you folks. People ask me, you know, even in WhatsApp, but I'm telling you, this needs an advanced level, you know, in a good, you know, base, in a good base of English language. Now, let's go again for the question 3. Question 3, since you see whether, it's mean the things are correct here. Remember this technique. Don't think too much about it whatsoever. When you see whether, and in coming lessons, I'll give you some phrases possible that when you put it, it's actually, you can see it, that's the key. You just choose A and go ahead with the next question. Don't think about it, okay? This is one of the technique. Now let's go to question number 4. Question number 4, okay? I'll put it here again. Now the claim made above depend on which of the following assumptions. Now remember, we got like, you know, assumptions, and we talk about it in the first question, first demo question, okay? In such questions, you need to find the possibilities of answers. And remember when I told you, it's going up, down, so the answer should be down, up. This is the technique, right? This is how we use it, okay? So first was 9 of 10 people using, you know, Slimmies for 2 weeks, as direct reported that they lose weight. So they lose weight, something, but suddenly something happened different, which is go down. Now here, which one is correct? I need to understand, you know, your answers. If you say, for example, A or B, why? Tell me why in this case. I need you to write why in this case. So, my dear friends, PTR, Rana, anyone? I'll give you time. I'll give you a couple of minutes now to answer the question, because this question need thinking, need to understand the idea, okay? There is, you know, possible options here from A to E. Which one is the correct one? Because one of them is actually the base for the above statement. And we're talking about the above statement, this part. One of these 5 is actually the base of this one. So which one is the correct answer? Ina, she said E. Yes? Ina, she said E. Remember, Ina, what I told you before is you have to go in different way. You have to cover all the idea of the statement, but on opposite side, in opposite. So is it E cover the opposite side? No other product is more effective than Slimmies to help lose weight. Okay, this is only up, but there is no downside of it, right? So where is the downside? There is one thing, up and down. Remember, this is only up. So it's not E for sure. I need something cover the up and downside. PTR said C, the survey participants were overweight prior to 2 weeks period. Okay, this is only downside. Where is the upside? Where is the upside here? Look, Ina, she said E, which is only up, but there is no down. Now, you said, PTR said C, which is, you know, overweight period for the 2 weeks period, which is still downside. I need something cover both. I need something cover both. So not C, not D, not E for sure. Not C, not E for sure. Now you have to cover either A or B or D. Which one is correct? Now I need you to find one choice that cover up and down. Up and down. This is kind of interesting, by the way. That's what the GMAT exam is, a challenging exam. It's basically a riddle. It's a riddle exam. And since you are in GMAT, imagine you are going to a challenge, like in a show TV challenge. Either you're going to win or not. Rana, she said A. And Sheda, she said A. The survey participants were not using slim E's immediately prior to 2 weeks period. Well, this is, let me tell you something. I will give you the answer actually, not A also, it's B. The survey participants did not exercise during 2 weeks period. Now, look here. The survey participant did not exercise during 2 weeks period. Now, this is a downside with the up. Okay? Because everyone talked, look, everyone said, here, look to the key. Everyone, period. Yes? Look here, first one. C. Yeah? Now, again. So, you look here, see, period to 2 weeks period. Here again. And again, you will see D is different because it's negative here. Okay? No other is basically is going only top, so it's not right. Arif, I don't understand what you say. Your message was deleted. Your message was deleted. So the answer basically is B. The answer is B. The survey participant did not exercise during the 2 weeks period. Why? Because simple. They took that one. So there is negative and positive going in the same way. That is the absolute answer. Okay? That's how it's worked. Now let's go for the next exercise, and you understand more about it more in deep. Okay? Now let's go a bit harder. Now this one is a bit harder. Okay? Before we go for, you know, a bit deeper. Interesting. Yes, Ina, that's why I tell you, Ina, it's actually very interesting exam. It's challenging exam. That's why they call it the exam GMAT. GMAT stands for Graduate Management Admission Test. They would see how you manage to answer, you know, high-level questions. Shada, what is how is it possible? Could you explain to me what is the question referred to, please? Now, my dear friends, let's go again for 5, okay? Now 5, I will put it in a green zone. And which of the following, if it true, is the best, you know, criticism of the advice given to the argument above? Now we have an argument here. And the best criticized advice mentioned there. Now I need to use the same technique which is in example 2 we took before. I'm just going to go down a bit here. Anyways, go for, yeah, that's clear. I hope that's clear for you folks. Yeah? Shada, how is it possible, please? Could you clear which question is that? And I will happy to answer your question. So, back to number 5. Okay. I'm gonna zoom out a bit, 1 second. Yeah, now it's better. Now, you see this statement here. You see this argument statement. Basically, this is an argument statement, okay? And which is criticize advisable statement, which is given here. Which one is actually correct? So we have A, B, and C, D, E. What do you think, which one? I want you to look deeply in the passage above and tell me which one is, a long story short, that answer the argument here. Let's see how you guys are going to work out here. Now, first one is some people prefer more traditional style of bathroom fixture over, contemporary style. Rana said B. Rana said B. Okay, Rana said B. Who else? Come on, bidding. Which one? Who else? Now, is it cover everything? Oh, Shayda, she said for the previous question, how is it possible it was B? Oh, hold on, let me check. The previous question, because we are answering now, but I will get back to the previous question now, because it's covered all the aspects, up and down. They were not doing any exercise in 2 weeks while they taking the medicine. That was the effect. So there is a negative and positive here, Shayda. That was the possibility. The possibility of answering the question was so easy. Okay? Now, Rana said B here. What about you, Shayda? What do you think? Which one is the correct answer? Ina, PTR, someone, what do you think? Now, give me an answer, and let's see. She said, Rana, she said C. Rana, she said B. And somebody else said C here. New houses are generally more expensive than older houses of comparable size. Okay. When an older house is sold, correcting any code violation is, kinda. You should look for the something opposite, different. It's an argument, Rana, it's an argument. You should go for different, giving advice. Like, you imagine you're giving advice to someone. What you gonna give them in this case? Ina, she said E. Ina, she said E. Yeah? Is it advisable? What do you think? In general, older houses have more the kinds of details that lend charm to a home than do the new houses. PTR said C. Okay, let me ask you something. PTR, why you choose C? Ina, why you choose E? And Rana, why you choose B? Write down your answers, please. Why you choose you pick up the choice here. If you know the answer, Rana, she said B. Why? And Ina, she said E. I want to know why. And PTR said C. And I also want to know why. So, what do you think? Rana, she said C. Now she changed her mind. Okay. Now, since I got two choices here, basically, is the answer is correct is C. The right answer is C. The right answer is C. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Because the new houses have more opportunities, so it should be more expensive. Of course. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, PTR. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Rana and Ina. Thank you, all of you. Really. Your participation is very wonderful to me, and I'm happy to see some answers here. Even I know some of you it's a bit hard to deal with graduate management admission test. It's very high level. Actually, yes, because of money. Financials. So basically, no money, no honey. Get that? It's work. I hope you understand the point here. That's good. So you understand the strategy questions and find the answers. Yes? You understand it now, right? PTR, Rana, Ina, you understand it now. Before it was hope so and I think so. Now you understand it or still hope so? What do you think? If you understand it, it's good. Yes, I understand you, Rana. New houses. Yes, I know. So now the strategies are clear, right? You understand how it's work. Wonderful. Wonderful. Ina, you understand it because before you said, I hope so. Peter, I still hope so. Well, we will continue. Okay? Of course, it was an argument, Rana. That's wonderful. Now, let's go for question 6 to 8. Now, this is a kind of, you can see passage. This is basically, look like the passage of SAT. Basically, SAT passages are the same. SAT passages are the same. Okay? So here, when people ask you, or ask me sometime, teacher, what's the difference between SAT and GMAT? It's actually they are both sharing with the same technique. In the reading part, you see there is 5, there are numbers in the passage. There are numbers in the passage. Okay? So these numbers is actually is to identify the statement or the paragraph details. Like when we see here the question, okay, 6 to 8. The author primary concern, passage 2, A, B, C, D. You have to go back here and find where is the word. Of course, we will not have time to cover that details. Okay? Of course, we don't have time to cover all the details now because we got I hope we have enough time, 20 minutes. But still, we are doing 20 minutes, yes. But that's very important. So, you will see a kind of type of question, there are numbers 5, okay, and number 10, 15, 20. And Shada and Rana, I think they were with me in the SAT lesson. The SAT and GMAT share the same technique actually with the numbers here. SAT share the same technique, is to identify the line which is asked in the question. Now basically if we're going to go here, okay, we're going to go here, and the author's primary concern in the passage is what? A, B, C, D. Now first, you will see that, okay, it's hard for me to answer such question. Simple. This is what you're going to face. It's hard for me to answer such question. I will tell you, it's the easiest part to answer this question without even knowing what is in the paragraph. And you tell me, really? How does that work? How does that work? Okay? Let me tell you something. All of you are immediately when you saw this one already, the passage, and I said, holy moly, that's it. I will not get answer this question for sure. I'm not going to answer this question for sure. But trust me, you can answer only by looking to this paragraph. Only by that. And you will find the answer so easy. That's a trick I want to teach you. Okay? So, let's start. First, you will say they are all similar. Yes? First, you will say they are all similar. A, B, C, D, E. Somehow they are all similar. So it's been they're all correct in somehow, right? If you see it all similar, say yes. If you see it all similar, say yes in this case. Now, basically, when you see, I will just zoom in because somebody asked me to zoom in now. Now it's clear? You can see behind me, yeah? That's good. Now, when you see it here, for example, we got A and B and C and D, right? You see all similarity here. Describe of characteristic and make a new town that made them unsuccessful. Trace of development of a new town concept of United States, and so on. Basically all of them. But where, look here, the author's primary concern in the passage. The author's primary concern. Now this is the main question. What we have to mark? Primary concern. Okay, let me ask you something here. You don't have to look back to the passage whatsoever, because since it's a general information, not details information, it's so tiny to look in the whole passage. That's how it's worked. So let me show you this magic, okay? Simple. The primary concern of any author, imagine yourself, first, put yourself in the place of the author. Put yourself in the place of the author, yeah? When you write a story, what you're looking at in that story, or report, or some of you maybe work now, or teach, or doing some, job, required reporting and so on. When you write a report, what you are concerned of what? The result. So the result are possible. You need to, identify the problems and reasons and solutions and ideas, right? So basically, look here. Everyone, here start with describe. Here start with trace. Yeah? Here start with list. Here start explain. And here start with analyze. Now, I'm closing the idea how you find the answer. Yes? Now, the primary concern is describe, or trace, or list, or explain, or analyze. Which one you think is correct? Imagine yourself, you are the writer of the book. You are the one who's writing the report. Now, this is called strategic training concept questions. This is what you need to, the examiners will look to the answer to see how you can answer. So to be absolutely correct here, you need to put yourself in the shoes of the author and see what he's writing. So what do you think? Is it describe, trace, list, explain, analyze? Which one is good with the primary concern? Remember, primary concern. Which of these words go to primary concern? Who can give me the answer? Who can give me the answer, folks? Peter said D. Okay, let me tell you something. If it's primary concern, why should I explain it? I already explained it. So it's not concern anymore. I am already explained the situation, so it's not concern anymore, right? What does mean concern? Primary concern, something I need to look for, something to find it. So, what is the word that go to primary concern? Rana said A, describe. Again. You said describe, same as explain. Somehow, I'm explaining the details, all describe an event. So both of them is actually telling the details. So there is no primary concern here. Primary concern is for something still hidden for you. You are looking for it. So it's C. Okay. Let me tell you something. Ranasi said E. Okay. Let me tell you how you think. Now you look here, the primary concern, and you will see similar words in the exam. And you see that the start of the question, describe, trace, list, explain, and analyze. And analyze is the correct answer. The reason why, if you go for describe or explain, somehow they are similar, but if you explain everything, there is no more concern for it. Yes? There is no more concern that you're looking for something. If you go for list or trace, it means you already know the problem and you need to find a solution for it. But you don't know the problem yet. You don't know the problem yet. So trace or list is if there is a problem, but here is no problem. There is concern. Since there is concern, it means the problem is unknown. Because, yes, PTR, because all of you think in easy word, explain, list, trace, and describe. While analyze is actually the correct one. Analyze is the correct. You are analyze the impact of new towns and urban centers in the United States. Now, this is actually you're writing, analyze the impact, the result. You're searching for the results. This is what is mean the primary concern. So immediately, oh, primary concern, I'm looking for something, it means there is analyze here. It means this is the correct answer because this word is fit with the primary concern. When you choose E, actually the whole answer is correct. That is the correct answer. So you don't need to look back to the passage in this case because you already found the core of the question, describe it with, compare it with one of the words, starting words, and immediately you can see the way how it's look, the work actually. Describe, trace, list, explain, analyze. One of the tricks in this, strategy questions in GMAT, most of the people, they don't look to the whole, the beginning of the words. They look to the whole thing. And they spend time to reading the passage here. They spend time to understand the words, vocabs, and understand the meaning. But some of the questions, really, the answer is just flow in the wind, and you just look and describe the question. And you see, for example, primary concern, primary adjectives, adjectives follow-up. So you can see from that phrase, you can find the answer by the first word in the passage. So here, for example, describe, trace, list. And you see describe and explain is actually similar in somehow, while trace and list also similar. Analyze is the only one is opposite and different. So when you put analyze with the primary concern, is absolutely identical somehow. When you choose it, actually is the right choice. If you go back and read the passage, you will choose basically E is the answer. That's one of the magic tricks in GMAT. I usually give for my students a lot of tricks to pass the exam and how they analyze the questions and to find the answers. And thank God till now, most of my students, and I mean in most like 9 or 7 countries, all of them over 700 score point, which is they go for the good MBA and master degree programs. So thank God, all these tricks is basically how to work, how to read the question, how you understand, how to look to the question is very important here. Okay, now let's go for number 7. Let's go for number 7. Okay, now number 7, hold a second, I'm gonna zoom in here. See you, Rana. See you, Rana. Have a nice evening for you. See you, Rana. So, last question before we go. Now, let's go for question 7. Question 7. Based on the information in the passage with the following statement about the new towns. We already read about the new towns. Now, this is basically again. Now, when you see here, there is no primary concern. It means with this one, you have to go back to the passage and read, because such information based only on the information in the passage. There is no author concern here. So basically, the only thing here, you need to go back to the passage And I hope in our second, maybe another GMAT lessons, I hope, we can explain how to read this passage one by one. How we read the passage one by one. So, now my dear friends, I hope you understand the techniques to answering some questions, and you understand some of the questions, ideas, and how the exam will work out in GMAT and the previous one, SAT. Okay? So now the time is open for questions. You will ask questions, I will answer any questions. Time is open. So my dear friends, you can ask anything and I will answer you folks. If you have any questions, please ask. And before some of you, of course, will ask questions, and maybe some of you will ask questions now, remember, this is one of the keys in the GMAT exam, like the trick of the words. We are using the tricky words to, for example, primary concern. So the concern here coming as an idea or thinking or, anytime PTR. So all the time, look, everything related. Concern comes to describe, trace, list, explain, analyze. When you see such words are repeating, all the time the questions what come after. For example, you see the question, this one, number 3 question. And when you click next, the one that's come after is automatically, you have to connect with the passage. It means the answers are in the middle of the passage here. Now, this is an AI, basically is a program-based GMAT exam. So when you see anything thinking way, you will find immediately the next question, okay, is cover the whole thing from the passage itself. So the program work in a way that one for you, one for me, one for you, one for me. So one is your thinking, the program will help you, and the second one, go back to the passage. Don't think that you will use all the same trick in all the questions. No, that's not going to work out here. Some questions like this one, yes, is possible, and we have all the time with the odd numbers, like 3, 7, 9 questions all the time. But after that, the whole questions come, we have to go back to the passage and read the questions. Okay? So, my dear friends, I hope that I fulfilled today all the GMAT corners with a sample, easy sample, and complicated samples of graduate management admission test, which stands for GMAT. And I explain what is cover and what kind of questions, because basically to talk about what is cover is going to take an hour. But we go directly to practical mode, and I show you all the, okay? So, my dear friends, I hope I'll see you next Sunday. I hope I'll see you again with IELTS. If anyone will interested in IELTS, we have new tricks in the sleep, and we're going to work out with the new ideas. Okay? I will see you next Sunday. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Ina. Anytime. Thank you so much, everyone, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye.